You ever feel like you're just carrying something heavy, but you can't quite put your finger on what it is? Well, in this explainer, we're going to dive into how our earliest experiences can stick around, long into our adult lives, shaping the very feelings we often struggle to explain.
I mean, does this sound at all familiar? You've probably tried everything: motivation, discipline, maybe you've tried new relationships, or even spirituality. But it doesn't matter what you do, there's this feeling that just won't quit, that something's a little heavy, a little off. If you feel that way, you are so not alone.
But here's the thought. What if we've been asking the wrong question this whole time? What if the goal isn't to fix something that's broken inside of you? What if instead you were simply carrying the wounds from a time when your feelings just weren't safe?
Hey, before we go any deeper, just a quick and gentle note here. This is a pretty heavy topic, so if at any point this starts to feel like too much, please, just pause. Take a breath. Your well-being really does come first, and you're always allowed to take care of yourself.
Okay, so to really get to the heart of this, we first have to kind of redefine the word trauma. It's a word that gets thrown around a lot, right? But it's often really misunderstood.
And this is where we really need to shift our perspective. See, when we hear the word trauma, our minds usually jump to these huge catastrophic events. But the most crucial point is this: trauma isn't actually defined by what happened to you, it's defined by what happened inside of you. It's what your nervous system at the time just couldn't process.
This really shows the difference perfectly. We're all conditioned to think of trauma as the stuff on the left. But those experiences on the right, having your emotional needs just not met, being shamed for crying, feeling like love was something you had to earn, those things also register in a kid's nervous system as a threat. They teach a child a really core lesson. My feelings are not safe here.
So let's take a look at how these unseen wounds actually get formed. I mean, what do these experiences really look like? And what kind of mark do they end up leaving?
Just imagine a home where a parent controls everything: what their child should think, what they're allowed to feel, every little choice they make. In that kind of environment, there's just no space for curiosity, right? There's no room for mistakes. And disagreeing? Well, that might get punished with a parent's anger, or maybe even worse, their cold, hard silence.
And here's the message that the child starts to believe. When control is the main dynamic, the lesson learned is so profound. My needs, my feelings, my real self, they just don't matter. So is it really any wonder that these kids might grow up to be adults who are people pleasers, who are scared of authority, or who feel this intense guilt for just wanting a little bit of freedom?
But trauma isn't always about control or these big, overt actions. Some of the deepest wounds actually come from what was missing. This is the trauma of quiet emotional neglect. It's not about what parents did, it's about what they didn't do.
Man, how many of us have heard these phrases? They might even seem harmless, well-intentioned. But what they teach a child is to disconnect from their own feelings, to push down sadness, to hide fear, and to just numb their anger. And as adults, this can lead to so much confusion about their own emotions, or maybe a pattern of attracting emotionally unavailable partners, because, well, that's what feels familiar.
Now, we absolutely need to address sexual trauma. This isn't just about the most extreme acts. It also includes things like harassment, violations of your boundaries, being forced to be silent, or even being blamed for what happened. The deepest wound here is often this fundamental belief that your own body is no longer a safe place to be.
And let's just be absolutely 100% clear on this point. If this is a part of your story, what happened was not your fault. Not when it happened, not today, and not ever. The shame that so many survivors have to carry, it was never theirs to begin with.
So how does all of this stuff actually show up today? See, trauma doesn't usually scream. It whispers. It shows up in our daily habits, our reactions, and often in ways we don't even recognize. Just look at this list for a second. Overthinking every single interaction. Shutting down emotionally when things get a little tough. That deep fear of letting anyone get too close. Or even that extreme, I don't need anyone kind of independence. These aren't just random flaws. They are often patterns, echoes of things that happened a long time ago.
And this right here is so important. These reactions, they are not evidence that you're broken or that you're flawed. They are sophisticated survival strategies. They are learned responses from a nervous system that, at some point in your life, had to do whatever it could to protect you. And that is such a profound shift from self-blame to self-understanding.
So, this brings us to the most important part, the path forward.
And the very first step is realizing that healing isn't about trying to fix a broken machine. It's much more like tending to a garden.
Here's the crucial point. Healing begins the moment we stop trying to fix ourselves and we start trying to understand ourselves. It's a journey that, it requires compassion, it requires patience, and a willingness to face the truth of our own stories.
So what does that path even look like? Well, first, awareness. Just gently allowing yourself to feel what you've been pushing down for so long. And second, creating safety for yourself, allowing those emotions to come up without judging them. And third, support. Whether that's therapy, journaling, or a friend you really trust, reaching out for help is an act of profound courage. It is not weakness.
And as you walk this path, please remember this. Your body keeps a score. It remembers the experiences that your mind might have tried to push away. You survived things as a child that you couldn't possibly understand back then. As an adult, you get the chance to heal them. Please be gentle with yourself.
And let's end with this one final crucial thought. Healing is not a straight line. There are going to be good days and there are going to be hard days. It zigs and it zags. And wherever you are in your journey, you are not behind, you are not late, you are exactly where you need to be. Thank you for listening.